Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I am seated next to Mr. Matt Rhodes.
The hardest part about this entire podcast is the opening.
It's so hard because I can't.
And I make Jen do it every damn time.
And never mind the fact that it's difficult for me to get in and out of my chair.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, babe. But I don't know how they're going to cut it, so I'm going to go ahead and show my shirt for our viewers on YouTube. I've got my Thunder Thighs shirt on.
Love it.
I love it. This is my favorite shirt. It's so comfy, too. So, pull yourself together, Rhodes. Get your shit together. So, in the last podcast, I said, dress for the job you want.
Wow, that's fitting.
I'm a coach.
There you go.
I'm a coach that embraces my Thunder Thighs. Okay. Yeah, it works. I love my Thunder Thighs. And it's not a negative thing either. Okay, anyway. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. If you want a better life, you have to start dressing the part, even when it's uncomfortable. And after we recorded that podcast, Matt and I were talking, and it made me think there was many. We were just kind of ruminating, right? And you asked me something, and I cannot remember the question you asked me, and I said, well, because there's hidden rules, babe. And you're like, oh my God, that's fucking genius, Jen. So this is not part 2 of the previous podcast. This is a totally different topic, but we're going to branch off because of that last podcast. Yeah. There are hidden rules. Some are in plain sight. Some are unspoken. But it's important to know that none of them really matter. None of them. And they were made up for one reason or another, or maybe you made them up for one reason or another. But they don't really exist. Invisible fences. That's the word I used. Not unhidden rules. Yep. It was invisible. I was like, because there's these invisible fences. And the more Matt and I kind of started talking about it, this really tracked with you specifically.
Yeah, because our mindset coach, every time I ask him something, he responds, well, what, why?
According to who?
According to who? and he's told me multiple times is I make my own rules. There are no rules in life. I make my own rules, which is awesome because that's not the way I grew up. That's not the way I've lived my life.
I will say though, you used to
I
be,
love it.
You used to be very
in a box,
trapped by those rules. I would say I thought I wasn't a rule follower. And the more we started working with him, there were rules I had put on myself that I didn't even know were there. So this may be an aha podcast for you. You may be already know you are a rule follower.
Yeah, and
either or wrong.
There's rules to follow, and then there's rules in your head.
Yes.
You know, make sure you dress nice for work is just kind of a rule, but then you could have a rule in your head that because you do this, something happens. So it's 2 different concepts, but we'll try to hit on both of them today. And I think this will resonate with a lot of people listening because this is the type of person that I talk to a lot. It's basically what I used to be, where I was at. When they come to me, this is what they're saying. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about myself. I felt like, I was a pretty typical male and I felt like I was winning. The reason I felt like I was winning because in most every vertical, I was doing pretty good. I had, you look at a corporate job, making multiple 6 figures, doing well financially. Got to use my entrepreneurial spirit with my wife, owned 2 gyms that were doing very, very well. We had some nice vacations. We had some nice cars. We live in a nice house. Nothing crazy. Just nice and comfortable. And a lot of guys are in that place, right? And girls too, but that's right. You're really good. And, we got 2 kids with a heart of gold. Even when they get in trouble, because they're kids, they're going to get in trouble. It's nothing that bad. And you wrap all that up and I got this fucking sexy wife who's sitting right next to me. I had it all. I felt like I was winning. And even going back before that, I grew up in a great family business where, unfortunately, everyone knew you. So you followed the rules with everything. And when you did that, you got happiness and you got success in business. And that's all true because I had a great childhood. And my parents were and are successful. So there's nothing wrong with that. But you kind of follow those social norm rules as I was growing up. And then I went right to college. And after 4 years of college, it was straight into corporate America. And I will tell you, there are a ton of good things with corporate America. I'm not here to shit on that. I've learned so much there. I've had so many good mentors, so many great people that I've worked with. But there is a huge negative in corporate America, which is follow the rules, the spoken ones, the written ones, and the unspoken rules, and you are rewarded. And that's what I got. I got that in corporate America. I also got that in our gyms. We ran those gyms. We run those gyms to make sure we make everyone happy, and it's rewarded us. They're very successful. COVID restrictions, we followed all the rules we could to make everyone happy.
Both sides.
Yep. And I've been on this rule following my entire life because that's what I thought you had to do to be successful. And remember, I felt some success until I woke up one day. I was overweight. I was tired of being cozy and comfortable. Overweight, cozy, and comfortable. I was tired of trying to please everyone. And I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but that's where I was at. I was like, how is this possible? I followed all the rules. And I had a lot going on for me, but I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with the way I looked. I wasn't happy that I was a very genuine person, but I wasn't living out my real personality for my wife, my kids, my businesses, and me, most importantly, me. I realized that I'd had this rule built in to follow the rules to be successful. And I followed those rules, and I was overweight. I was cozy. I was comfortable. And I was trying to please everyone, but not living up to my real dreams. And I realized all those rules were just in my head. There really are no rules. You go do what you want, how you want, and you will be happy.
That is a really deep example.
It's probably deeper than where, because we can touch on little points.
Here's my thing. And you started at an older version of yourself of when you started to adopt rules. I'm going to give an example that popped in my head, and I know exactly the minute I say it, you're going to be able to say the rule. Step on a crack. Yeah. Tell me you don't think of that rule walking on a sidewalk.
Yeah. Every
time. Isn't that so funny? So some rules, some norms were taught to us as patterns as children. Those fences are invisible. I'm here to tell you they're all in your fucking head. There's even the most simple ones, like step on a crack. One of the main ones that we've touched on is that you're scared of what others may think. What will my spouse think? What will my kids think? I'm scared of what my parents will think. What will my friends think? And people who have this unspoken rule have it in their head how everyone is thinking about their every move all the time, which could be as simple as dwindling down to a one-time incident that may have happened when they were small, like super small, and it's not true, but you've spun it for so many years that it's just part of your being now. I'm here to tell you nobody cares what you're doing.
But if you have that, it's like wearing fucking handcuffs. You are not being your true person. I know what that feels like.
Can I say, now that you're out of those cuffs, I love learning more about your personality.
It's still coming out.
I know, but that's not a part of you that the kids and I got to experience until just recently. We've had traces of it, but now we get the full you. Yeah. And it wasn't an intentional you holding back. It was an intentional rule you had in your head that you had practiced long enough that you didn't know how to unshackle yourself.
Yeah. Be reserved to be successful. Bad rule.
What if, have you been more successful now that you're not as reserved?
Yeah. And the successful, I'm not even talking about money, but money, absolutely.
How about that?
Yeah. I mean, I was making a lot of money before this. So money has absolutely nothing to do with it.
I will say I've become more reserved. You've leveled me out. What the hell, Rose?
I don't know.
But that's when the skies opened up for you. It's been cool. It's been really cool to watch your weird come out.
Well, we'll have to do one hell of a podcast on that. That'll be a deep dive.
When your weird came out,
no.
You're not as weird as me, but we'll save that. My Thunder Thighs t-shirt and my Muppets quotes and my Barbie nails. I'm basically 6, and that's okay because I make my own rules. I will say I had some unspoken rules. I know people think that I'm just this lawless character, right? Like I'm not. I've overcome some things as well, and they were self-imposed rules, but it was more rules about my own value.
Yeah, I was going to say your worth.
My worth. But I know that I'm worthy as a human. I know what I do is good, but I was scared to justify it with money. Now, if you listen to the last podcast, we talked about money and where that related. I had to overcome that value of myself and how it related to money. And I will say that when I raised my pricing for my coaching program, and I know you remember that because you were like, yeah, why are you still talking about this?
Yeah.
Because I was so terrified.
And it had nothing to do with us
raising prices.
It had nothing to do with needing more money. It was crazy what you were doing. But yeah, keep going.
You're good. And my coach was talking me through things, and he said, so what do you provide? You know, what are all the bells and whistles to your program? And I walked him through what I do in terms of workouts and the time I'd spent recording all these videos for my workouts and putting together the progression and the food programs and the videos to go with the food programs and meal prep and all these different things. And then all the time that I devote on a daily basis to answering messages from clients, answering questions, checking in with clients, making any changes to their programming, talking people off of ledges, all of that. And when it came down to the amount of time I truly spend with a client one-on-one, it was a no-brainer. And I was mad at myself for charging pennies for days worth of time. And you know what's funny? I've never been more free. I truly know what an hour of my time is worth. And the clients that hire me, well, currently, the clients that I raised prices on didn't bat an eye. They're like, it's about time, Jen. Let's go. We're going to be with you no matter what you're charging. We want you. Cool. Like, really? Awesome. They get the exceptional version of me. They don't bat an eye at the cost because the results that I deliver is worth it.
Yeah, and when you did that, I will tell you, your clientele definitely did change because
the clients didn't.
No, but the type of people that were coming to you,
but the language did. Yeah,
the type of people that were coming to you changed because it really weeded out the people who kind of wanted to look fucking good to the people who said, I want to fucking look good, I want to feel good. I want to be there for my husband. I want to be there for my kids. I want to be there for my spouse. They came in with those goals rather than I kind of want to look good.
You know what? I'm going to change it. It came from, I just want to lose 10 pounds to, I'm done living this way.
I want to look like that other person that you just worked with.
I am done living like this.
Yeah. So, there's a big one also that we see, an unsaid rule that I want to talk about. And because this comes up with clients a lot, but not just clients.
This was for me.
Yeah, this is everyone, but we particularly work with them on it, and it's called me goals. Mm-hmm. It's very taboo to have a me goal. It's selfish to have me goals. It's an unsaid rule you can't have me goals. It's an unsaid rule you don't have time for me goals. That's a big one.
Yeah, it's... Please don't get me started on the me time thing. Like, there's a funny joke running around, I don't know, Instagram or whatever, like, mom's going to the bathroom to escape to get me time. Like, I'm sorry, number 2 is not me time. Number 2 is number 2. Okay.
Yeah, when I say me goals, I'm not talking about like time to yourself, which that is one of them. I'm talking about being
setting
able to,
goals for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want, not, this would be great if my family could do this. No, this is what I want for me.
And nothing gets in the way of it.
Yeah. So I work with both male and female. Obviously, the amount of clients that I've got, but I see it most with my females. It's an unspoken rule that we were taught. And I will say that I am here to bust the patriarchy from the inside. We are going Death Star 101 right here. Ladies, fellas, if you do this, fucking cut it out. Ladies, we wake up and we worry about the laundry and the dishes. What time do the kids need up? Okay, make sure hubby's up. Are his clothes ready for work? Okay, does everybody have a good breakfast? Okay, let's take the dog out. Okay, now the dog needs walked. Okay, let's make sure everybody's got everything we need for activities after school. What are we going to make for dinner? Okay, now I've got to get ready for work. And blah, 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 blah. And the family events. And let's make sure we check in on everyone else. And how are the neighbors doing? And let's check in on our mother. And this and that. To which at the end of the day, when you actually have me time, you have nothing left of you. I just want to crash in bed at 8 o'clock. Does that sound like you? Matt, I know there's a different male tone. I know what my ladies speak because I was there.
Yeah. It's the same, but it's different. And I generally don't disagree with you on a podcast, but I will disagree with you.
Noted.
It is there for males all day long with males. It's just not as prevalent. Prevalent.
That's classy though.
It's more in our mind in males than it is for females, in my honest opinion. Okay. Women are thinking about all the things which are real things, not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is I think I know it's in both sides. It's in male and female strong because we feel pressure as males. We feel pressure to provide for the family. The pressure to be a good dad, the pressure to be a good husband. And we're really just trying to do all the things that we can to hold everything together, much like the female. It's just a different way. The reason it's different is we have pressure not to be emotional.
Oh.
So we cannot be emotional about things. We can't cry. We can't show emotion. We just have to hold it all together. We can't have a minor little breakdown.
Yeah, we can't either because we're too fucking busy.
That's true.
We're handling the children. Isn't that funny though? And it just as you were describing it, it made me think of like sitcoms that we used to watch growing up in the 90s.
That is a great example.
We have been fed this fucking rule since we were children.
But what you just said is exactly what it is. When you look at the males and the females in the sitcoms, it's for both of them, but it's a different thing.
It's television programming. Turn that shit off, people. Male, female, it does not matter. We are programmed to not have me goals. It is expensive to not have me goals. Rephrase. It will cost you to not have me goals. Do you understand the difference in language? You miss so many opportunities to live the most abundant life with absolute happiness and freedom Freedom. Freedom is the word I want to use in how you look, how you feel, and all of the rewards that come with that. And you wake up one day, and if you continue like this, you will wake up one day and have regrets, kind of like what you were saying with yourself, Matt. And how lucky we are that we both faced that and turned it around.
Yeah, I think the way that we just posed all that to you, you can start to see how me goals are not selfish. It's selfish if you don't have me goals. Why it's selfish is because you aren't bringing what you promised your spouse you would bring to the marriage the day that you said, I do. When you start to let everything else come around, you no longer are fulfilling that promise. You got to have me goals, especially if you're in a relationship. It may seem like you're stealing time from them, but you're not. You're going to give them all the time back, and they're going to love it. And I will tell you, when I talk to guys and we get pretty deep on some of the things that they really want, I hear one or a couple of these. I hear things like, I just want to walk into a meeting or a room or a party and everyone look at me differently and take me more serious, like I am serious with myself. Or I want to be able to take my shirt off and look in the mirror and just say, fuck yeah. Even if I'm by myself, it's that yes. Or I want to look like a freaking superhero. I don't want to do it for my kids. I want to look like a superhero for my kids. Mm-hmm. Big difference there. Big difference. And the one I love, because if I can get this one, I know we are locked in, is I just want to look good when I'm having sex. When I can get them to say that and finally admit that, they're like, I know they're ready to go, because that is a big one.
It's almost like you are waiting for society to tell you it's okay to be more. It's like you're waiting for society to tell you it's okay to want more. And I can tell you, if you're waiting on society, it's not going to happen. What I will say is, if you get in the right environment, when you get in the right environment, language matters, they will tell you it is okay to want more. It is okay to be more. It is okay to expect more. When you get around the right people, they'll cheer as loud for you and your goals as you will for theirs.
I love it. Let's wrap with that. The right people, the right environment.
Hell yeah.
Every damn time.
Find that people. Find that people. Guys, I hope this hit. If it did, share it with a friend. Give us a 5-star review. Tag us in your Insta stories. Tell me what you think about my Thunder Thighs t-shirt. With that, we'll talk next time.